Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first of our ongoing series of GalaxyCon virtual hangouts, where we hope to bring you our brand of fan-based entertainment offerings from our GalaxyCon to your home planet. And today we are thrilled to bring you three amazing actresses who give voices to the incredible series My Hero Academia. We're going to bring them out in a moment, and now is the time for all of you in our chat room to begin submitting your questions for our panel. Our producers will be looking for great questions related to My Hero Academia that involve all of our panelists. So while you're typing those in, let's go ahead and bring our guests to the virtual stage. First coming up, her numerous credits include Fruits Basket, One Piece, and the recent remake of Saint Seiya. Today she joins us to talk about her role as Ochako. Please welcome Luci Christian.
Hi, Patty.
Hi, how are you, my dear?
I'm good, I guess. That is so hard to answer right now.
Good is great right now.
That's right.
Yes, indeed. And speaking of great, coming up next, let's please welcome to the stage. She's an actress, producer, and director whose credits include Dragon Ball, One Piece, and Fruits Basket. But today we're going to be talking about her work as a director of My Hero Academia, as well as providing the voice of Momo. Let's please welcome Colleen Clinkenbeard.
Yay! Hi.
How are you, my dear?
I'm great. This is like new and fresh and exciting and not the same thing every day. That's fun.
It certainly is. It's so great to see you again, and it's so great to have you here. And absolutely last but definitely not least, she is a voice actress, a scriptwriter, and director. Her credits include Soul Eater, Dragon Ball, and Macross. But today's forum brings her here as the voice of Shiru, aka Froppy. Let's welcome Monica Rial. Hola, señorita.
This is awesome. This is so fun.
Isn't this?
I feel like we're just kind of hanging out, and then people can hang out with us virtually, but it's so nice to see all of your faces.
I wish all of your faces, all of the people's faces. I would like to
know.
Here's a story of lovely lady.
Oh, that's right.
Actually, I have three lovely ladies. I win. So right now, all of our fans are submitting their questions in the chat room. What I would love to do is go ahead and give them a little time and give our producers time to pull from those questions. So I've asked you this question before, but for our audience who doesn't know, ladies, how did My Hero Academia come about for each of you? And I know you can just point at Colleen and say, sure. But Colleen, why don't you go ahead and start?
Yes. Okay, so I was in Funimation is always bringing in new anime. We have so many anime that we do at the same time. And I'm a producer, and so most of the time I'm not directing. That's not a thing I do anymore. And then My Hero kind of was on the horizon, and everybody was talking about it, and I started seeing more about it and getting really excited about it, and so I went and begged, and they let me come back to the directing chair to direct it, and I have been so thankful ever since. I'm so glad that I get to be a part of this. I would be so sad if I had to stop being a part of this. It's fantastic.
What was it that pulled you back into directing?
Honestly, the superhero thing is pretty big for me. That's sort of prosaic, and like I know everybody's into superheroes, and it's almost overdone at this point. But there's something about it. I love the whole idea of magical powers, and then I love the whole idea of people being heroes, finding a way to be a hero in their own individual way. And so that just the storyline kind of caught me. And then I also just knew that it was a fantastic studio, and I knew that a lot of people were looking forward to it from the manga. Mm-hmm. So I went in and I read the manga, and then I just became a fan of it.
Well, you raised a good point about the superhero connection, because, and I've expressed this to you before, I love this series so much because it has made it's gotten anime fans interested in the superhero genre. It's gotten the superhero fans interested in anime and manga, whereas before they seem to be parallel lines that didn't usually cross very often. So
Yeah.
Ladies, you've been part of one of the great geek unifiers of the 21st century, and thank you all so much. So,
Yes.
Luci and Monica, how did you convince her to let you all on board?
I know for me, like we don't get to do auditions as much at Funimation just because the nature of simul dubs, we move so fast that a lot of times directors will audition for certain roles, but not like big overall auditions anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So My Hero was one of the first shows in a long time where we actually got the opportunity to come in and audition. So I remember when I came into audition, a lot of things that people don't realize about anime is they think, oh, I need to do all these crazy, silly voices. But actually in anime, we end up using just variations of our speaking voice. So it's very rare we do really weird, different types of voices. So I remember going in and thinking, okay, I'm auditioning for Tsuyu and Mineta. Sorry, apparently my yard guys. But I knew I was going to audition for Tsuyu and Mineta because I'm like, hey, that'll be an opportunity to try something different. And I auditioned for Ochako, but I think I actually said before I left something to the effect of, if that's not Luci Christian, then there's something wrong with the world. But it was really cool to be able to do like a different kind of voice. And Colleen was like, I didn't know you could do that. And I'm like, I didn't either, but here we are. So
now I talk like this all of the time.
But you do it so well.
That's right.
I appreciate it.
She's a pro.
Well, Luci, looks like everybody's backed away and said she's got this. I'm not even going to touch it.
Well, I was not auditioning for new shows at Funimation at that time because I live in Houston, and I had one piece that I kept going up for, but I had two very small children, and I had decided to kind of try to minimize my work out of town or just not take a bunch of new stuff. But I was up there recording on One Piece, and I ran into Ian Sinclair in the hall while auditions were happening. And everybody was talking about the auditions. In every studio I went to that day, it was just all about the auditions. And Ian said, hey, are you auditioning for that? And I said, no, I mean, I'm not auditioning for anything new. And he goes, yeah, you need to audition for that. And I said, really? And he goes, yeah. Like, yeah. So I went and I knocked on Colleen's door and was like, can I read for this one? Can I read for this show? And anyway, and so I did. And I think I also read for Tsuyu and a couple of other characters, but felt
you're already on my audition list, though.
Yeah.
It all worked out.
I was gonna fall.
Colleen, do you remember though? There was a promo for this show way back before we started recording it, and I think I did kind of my Okami-san narrator voice as kind of introducing some of the characters. It was just a promo, and I think it was
it as like the grandma voice?
Yes.
And it was before you took over as recovery girl?
Way before. You were like, this is a show that's coming in and everybody loves it. And it's just for like to introduce all of the different characters and whatever.
I do remember that.
Do you remember that?
Right. Yes.
So weird. Yeah.
It was the big buzz. Superheroes. We're finally doing superheroes.
No, but I agree. I mean, it feels like I almost can't believe that this hasn't been done already. That So, I mean, the superhero genre, along with all of the wonderful qualities of anime, that they haven't really touched like this before in this kind of way is sort of surprising to me. It makes all the sense in the world.
That the mistake of the past is absolutely your gain in the present.
Yes.
Absolutely. What's been your fondest experience directly related to being a part of the My Hero Academia family? Either with a fan or just a moment at a convention. I mean, I know you have a lot to choose from, but is there one that resonates with you?
There's so many because I don't know how to describe it, and I don't want to make it sound like I'm kind of putting down other fandom of other shows at all, because that's not the case. But fans of My Hero are so positive and happy and just uplifting. Like, I've been to several My Hero specific shows now, and it's just a different vibe. Like, everybody's so sweet and helpful. So to try and figure out one particular moment is is almost impossible because it's such a heartwarming show, such a great experience in the booth, and then the fans are just all so freaking awesome. It's hard to pick.
Yeah,
It's all good.
The New York Comic Con panel that we had, that was that had it was in the what's it called, the Madison Square Garden.
Oh,
Yeah,
I saw that.
Theater.
That looked amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That looked amazing.
It was just a really big panel room with the fact that we were in Madison Square Garden was really cool, and it was it felt like it felt special in this sort of like red carpety kind of way that like made it into this fancy thing, and then to have that and to see it kind of juxtaposed with the actual like this where we get to sit and talk to fans and answer fan questions one-on-one. I love the juxtaposition of that. I love to see both sides of it and to experience both sides of it, because there's something about this that makes it so much more personal and unique. But once you get the other thing, it's like, okay, I've had that. Now, and I love that I get to put it in a pocket in my mind, but that's not why we do this.
Yeah.
this is why we do this.
Absolutely. All right, then. I have asked you ladies this question before at many panels, and so we'll ask it again, since somebody will ask it anyway. If you could pick a quirk, what would it be?
I mean, I know mine. I would want to be able to teleport. I want to be able to just close my eyes and go wherever I want. So I could be like, hey, you guys, you want to go have dumplings in Shanghai? Bam, we're there. Let's go have lunch and then be back. Like that. I love to travel, but I hate airplanes, especially after all of this coronavirus. Really nice to just be able to pop over and pop back.
Yeah.
I feel like that's every actor's answer too, because we all have so many places that we go all the time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Be able to pop into a studio and then be able to pop home, and then pop over to London.
But Robin's thing in One Piece with all the hands, the character who has like lots and lots of different hands and they can do whatever she wants them to. I'm a mom. That's pretty attractive.
Yeah. And I want the multiplication quirk. I want to be able to duplicate myself for the same reason.
Yeah.
I feel like if there were about 4 of me, we would be incredibly productive.
So these are the moms. These are the moms up here. And
this is homeschooling mom. This is gardening mom.
I think it was Josh Greeley says that he wants the power to always put the USB in correctly the first time.
That's a good one.
That one I particularly like. So, well, thank you so much for indulging me, and I'm going to call upon our producers and ask, do we have some questions available? And the first one comes from Meteor. If you had to be a different My Hero Academia character, who would it be?
It's hard.
Well, I tell this story all the time, but I don't think I've ever told it in front of Colleen. Like, she's here.
Oh.
So Brina Palencia and I were 2 of the last people to be cast, kind of, because Colleen wasn't sure which one was going to be Tsuyu and which one was going to be Mineta.
It was one, and it was either going to be, you as Mineta or you as Tsuyu.
Which Mineta would have been fun to play, but I got best girl, so I left out.
Yes.
Love you, Brina.
I would pick Tsuyu, partly because I just love the character, but partly because mocking Monica is one of my new hobbies. Like, I couldn't have come up with that voice, and I can't do it nearly as well as she can, but I love to pretend to be her.
Yeah.
There.
I think maybe Toga.
Yeah.
Oh, she's cool.
She's so cool. She's cool. Or, I mean, I'll tell you, we make fun of Mineta, but I love him so much. I feel like in the world of all of these like amazing people, that he is at school and getting to be his pervy self is just kind of necessary.
Yeah.
And I love that. It would be fun to play him.
There has to be one.
There has to be one.
There's going to be a pervy character.
We have to have the eye roll character. Like, you have to.
And he's grown over the course of the series and the films. Like, he's gotten a little better.
Awesome. Meteor, thank you for that question. Let's throw another one. Oh, this comes from Batman. Watch out.
Uh-oh.
What advice would you have for an aspiring anime voice actors?
I usually go for 3 things. I tell people acting classes, because even if you think that you can act beautifully, like you were naturally talented, you still need to know the lingo. Like, you need to understand what a beat is and what motivation is and what changing tactics is. I also suggest improv classes, because you have to be able to create characters like at the drop of a hat. There are days where we go in the studio, and if we finish early, they're like, okay, well, we're going to take you around to all the other studios, and you're going to be a cat over here and a mom over here and a grandpa over here. And you have to be able to do that without thinking. And then the other thing I suggest is singing lessons, which a lot of people are like, I can't sing. And it's not so much about the carrying the tune part as it is about learning how to support from the diaphragm and how to control your voice. Because even stage actors learn very quickly, like vocal lessons help, because then you have a little bit more control over your instrument. So those are the 3 things I suggest.
Very good.
That's a good word.
I'm going to go with, I know Lucy and I are probably going to fight for this answer because it's the next most popular answer, but don't pigeonhole yourself as an anime actor. If you want to be an actor, be an actor. Out and find community theater to do and student films to do, and just, if you think of yourself as an anime voice actor, then what you are is a fan, and you are hoping to act. And there are very few people who make it successfully as an actor without making the transition in their mind to be a professional actor. So look for ways to diversify.
Also, this is a lovely time, since we all have to be home. You can get very cost-effective microphones, and buy a microphone and buy some headphones and play. I mean, there's free software. If your friends are makers, there is nothing stopping you from making stuff together. You will learn a ton. You will learn what you can do with your voice. Most of us on this will tell you, just like Colleen just said, we don't just do one thing. Typically, we read audiobooks, and we do all commercial things, and it all requires you using your voice differently. And the best way to learn that is to practice.
I'm glad you mentioned audiobooks. That's a great way for people to realize, wow, one person reading the text, giving not characters, but affectations to the characters within it. It's a very good learning experience. So, Cape Crusader, thank you for that great question. Let's see, what do we have coming up next? From Jay, question for all 3. Is there anything specific you do in order to get into character?
I'm the worst actor? No. I mean, even in college, when they were leading us through these like exotic acting exercises to get yourself into character, and write your backstory as if it were a journal, and then go meditate backstage and become your character. No, I watch it. Like, we get to watch the scene before we do the scene, which is actually a huge privilege of being a dub actor. We get to watch the completed scene and then come in and dub it, which means that I get to see all of the emotions right there. If my character is upset, then I get to watch somebody be that upset and get really into that emotion. And then I get to cheat and use that emotion to become the character. But no, either way, acting is about slipping into other roles. And so just do that.
And we're usually listening to, the director gives us usually really good information. They give us adjectives and descriptor words, and we give them something back, and then they kind of turn up the volumes or down the volumes as we go. And that's kind of how you come up with it. We as far as like getting back into a character, I can tell you in anime, we say names so much that when I want to remember what somebody sounds like, generally, I say the name. I'll go, "Hi, Deku," and I know, I know how the different characters say all of them. How do he like? You know. Anyway, that's how I get back. Find
That's
back
funny.
voices.
Mine is la la la. The character voices.
Ah, that's great.
La la la.
There,
Okay, got it.
there are many paths.
There are.
Jay, thank you for that question. That was good.
Oh, Monica, did you?
Ribbit. It's just ribbit. I just go
Okay, let's see. What do we have next? From Yaverity. When you are in a creative block, what is something that you like to do to help you break free and relax?
That's a good.
That's a good question.
It's interesting because like I feel like when we're in the booth, a creative block is very different than other things. So like a director and a writer and an actor will all have different types of creative blocks.
Yes.
As an actor, I remember it used to happen a lot when I would come up to Funimation when I was living in Houston because I would do like 12-hour days.
Yeah.
Colleen, you might remember this. There was an episode of Tsubasa where we were recording at like 8 o'clock at night and I'd been recording since 10 o'clock in the morning and I just cracked. And I started giggling at everything and I couldn't stop. And Colleen's like, let's take a break. And then we came back and I was still giggling. And she's like, right, because your brain is done. So for an actor, I feel like it's just you have to shake it off. You have to get out of that headset at that frame of mind. I know as a writer, depending on what kind of blockage it was, sometimes I would just come in and throw some of these throw pillows around just to be like, stupid mouth flaps.
Writing blocks are the worst.
Yes.
Yeah.
So bad. What about you? What do you do?
What do you do, Colleen?
I'm not a very creative person. God, I'm the worst interviewer.
That's not true.
I know. Creativity is different.
I'm not a very creative person. I'm a very left-brained person. So it's difficult for me to think of something, I guess, as a creative block, which is why I remember the writing creative block so much, because that really is, that's a creative process that you can't fake your way through.
Yeah.
You either have the words or you don't. But with acting, you can kind of fake it till you make it. Like if you fake it for a couple of takes, you'll get back into the zone.
Yeah.
And with directing, I cast really, really talented people so that I can fake it while they make it. So if I run out of directing words, which 100% happens, I hit directing walls and I'm like, louder? Like I can't come up with the word that I mean. You ladies are very familiar with that moment in Colleen life. I Coke and then make you guys do
it. Very nice, very nice. Thank you, Verity. That was a great question. What do we have next?
Lucy, did you answer?
Well, I was just thinking that I also, like, acting-wise don't really have, I mean, because I feel like I just sort of make myself fake it and go do it.
Yeah.
But in life in general, if I am stuck a little bit, I clean.
Oh. Sure.
I think through things as I clean, and it makes me feel good. And I usually, when I'm done cleaning something, I have an action I go do. Like I figure out something to do first, I guess.
Yeah.
I like it.
I remember acting blocks in theater, like when you actually had to.
Yeah.
Because there's an emotional connection that happens with your character when you're having to go through the entire scene or show as that character, and it's like you can't ever tap out and go, I need some tea.
Right.
So
right.
I remember that happening a little bit more.
So cool. I'm sorry about that, Lucy. Okay, let's do it. From Lily, do you have a favorite line your character says? If so, can you tell us?
Oh, favorite line.
Mine's easy. I like the relationship between Tsuyu and Bakugo in the sense that she's really nice to him, but every once in a while the things she says are like little swords that kind of stab him. So she has a line where he's going off about something and she's like,
Well, with that attitude, you'll never be popular.
That's exactly right.
That's my actual relationship with Cliff. Love and friendship, followed by little stabby swords.
Like little cocktail swords. Just
Yeah, little cocktail swords.
Oh, I love
get
that.
it.
I love those things.
I don't know. I have so many great ones. But in the movie, I didn't realize I liked it so much when we all watched the movie together in LA. That is going to be one of my top favorite memories of my work life. That was so much fun. But there was a line that we did that when we recorded it, I was like, ah. And then when I heard it in the theater and people laughed at it, I went, oh, that is funny. And it's when Deku has done something silly. He's been talking to the kids or whatever. And anyway, and Ochako says something like, wow, sometimes you're just really Deku or something like that. She doesn't really put people down ever. No. But she has a way of editorializing people in a really nice way.
Well, it's the innocent version of it.
Yeah.
Like, I recognize this in you, but I'm not judging you for it.
I'm not judging you, but wow, you're really you, aren't you? It was a discovery.
I like it when they're coming up with their names, because I love. I'm not sure how I feel about the name Creati, but I love the thing that comes before it is the everything hero. That's what your quirk is. You're the everything hero.
Excellent. Great. Lily, thank you for that. That was a really good one.
Lily? Yeah. Fun.
And coming up next, we have from
Don Quixote.
Don Quixote.
woo!
Are there any anime you would love your characters to have a crossover with?
One Piece.
Fun.
If
Powers. Devil fruit powers.
Island.
Yes.
That'd be so fun.
Yes.
Yeah. That would be a lively crossover. Absolutely.
Can we all fight an Attack on Titan, maybe?
Your own attack.
Very serious.
I would love to see that.
Right? Uh-huh.
Wait, the somber tone of Titan combined with the effervescence of My Hero.
Talk about a battle for humanity, man.
I don't think I want to see Tsuyu being eaten by a giant titan. Just,
Attack on Titan gave me nightmares when I watched it.
Yeah, I don't really want my character going through that. Although, you know what? They do go dark in My Hero. It's not like Chisaki never happened. There's Overhaul is dark.
That's true.
So I guess it could happen.
Lord.
I think you'd be bringing light to a doer world.
Doer one?
So Monica, you got one? You just don't want to.
The only thing I can think of is in Card Captor Sakura Clear Card. There was an episode where Sakura, Tomoyo, her friend, makes all of her little outfits, and so she had an outfit that was like a little frog outfit, and so I always thought it would be cute if like Tsuyu and little Sakura in her little outfit hung out.
Clamp I would like to see a Clamp crossover. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That would be a very pretty episode.
They'd all be very stretched out, very tall.
It would be very tall.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, we would be so pretty.
That was great. Oh, thank you for that question. Let's go on to the next one. From Mary Prindle. Is it hard doing the voices for the battle scenes?
It can
For the
be.
main characters.
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah. Luckily, this is a big ensemble show. So usually when we're in a fight, we only have to do like 2 or 3 reactions, and then we just let Deku and Bakugo ruin their voices.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
And it's hard for them.
Yeah, and it can be difficult. I mean, like as far as like doing a character voice like Tsuyu, sometimes that can be hard because you want to do reactions that match the character, but you don't want it to steal focus from what's happening.
So
Yeah.
like a weird kind of affected voice. If I run into a wall and I go, "Whoa,"
then it's going to take away too much. So it's
Yeah.
walking that line between realism and
Where there's a big United States of Smash moment in the background, you hear rabbit. I'm just gonna add it in. We're just gonna do that next time.
I was talking about how I wanted to add noises every time Tsuyu's tongue would like flap out. I wanted to go,
Yeah. Yeah. We had to get you past that.
I like how this is going from a fan chat to a brainstorming session. I love it.
Yeah, for a while there, anytime Tsuyu stuck her tongue out and blatted it on something and grabbed it, Monica would go, "Oh, it happened! I get to do the thing." You got to do it one time. Yeah, stop crying.
Oh.
It can also depend, I think, on how much you're doing. Like, there was a time period not too long ago where we were all working on 2 or 3 different things at one time and doing it all in a really tiny amount of time. And so if you are a person who has a lot of cues and everything is really heightened and you've got to get all of these things done in this one time, that is hard. But that happens to us all. Like, that happens to everybody. I don't know anybody in this industry that hasn't been like, wow, I wish I didn't have to. I wish I could stop the session and do the rest later. But normally, I mean, sometimes you can, sometimes you can't.
Absolutely fair. Go. Mary, thank you so much for that question. Let's see what we have coming up next. From Rentalez41, what are some of your favorite characters you have voiced?
you're making us choose.
Oh, I know. Well, he says some. He's not asking for an absolute favorite, but some of the favorites.
Kaname Chidori in Full Metal Panic.
Oh,
Yes, I love her. I loved Duck in Princess Tutu.
you've
Tenma
talked
in
about
School
that since I
Rumble.
met you.
It's so good. Yeah, I love that show. It was my favorite. Tenma in School Rumble. Medusa in Soul Eater. So many. You know what? The boy, Kyuta in The Boy and the Beast is one of my favorites.
Hmm.
And there are a whole bunch, y'all. There's so many. It's really hard. I will tell you straight up, I've never had a show. I've been in this industry a long time and I've never had a show like My Hero that has been so widely watched. And it is a complete thrill for me to get to experience people identifying with Ochako. I love her. And I feel so honored when other people love her too, to be a part of it.
Nice.
What are some of your favorites, Colleen?
Luffy.
Oh,
Of
Lucy.
course.
Yeah.
Even though
Luffy's-
it hurt?
It's just worth it. I mean, there are some characters who hurt that bad who are not worth it.
Right.
And then there's Luffy.
And he is worth it. You're right.
Just a joy. Anytime I get to go in the booth and be Luffy, there's that moment of, oh God, this is gonna hurt. And then it's followed by, he's so funny.
It's true.
And then I love Momo, but I love the show, I think, even more than that. Directing the show is my favorite aspect of My Hero. And I was super, super, super excited about getting to play Octo in Fruits Basket. Well, Fruits Basket was the first anime I ever watched. And I wasn't in it. And then when it came back around, it felt like this magical chance to like be in my favorite anime. So I begged.
Oh, yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, that one's a good one. I just got to join as Mine, which is super cool. Also, I worked with Amber, who was the original Mine, and she just wasn't able to come back to the role, but I had a little chat with her and everything. So it's kind of fun to have not only her blessing, but then also be a part of a cast that I didn't get to be a part of. And
Yeah.
but yeah, it's so hard to pick. I mean, of course, you've got like your Bulmas, your Tsuyus, your Mira Janes, like Tashigi, the characters you've spent a lot of time with.
Yeah.
But there's just so many. Shiro in Dead Man Wonderland, Hyatt in Excel Saga, Izumi in Princess Knight. Like, there's just so many, and I love them all.
That's absolutely fair. Okay, Relentless 41, thank you for that question. That was a very good one. Let's see what we have next. From Dylan.
Hey,
Are you
Dylan.
enjoying dub from home, and are there specific challenges it creates for you specifically?
Challenging would be the big.
Challenging. Yes.
Challenging.
Different. Very different.
It would be very different for each of us.
Well, and I think as you guys have heard, the guys doing my lawn, very unpredictable. That is number one. I've been doing a lot of commercial work from home too. And it's really hard to record commercials when you've got people cutting down trees with multiple chainsaws. Then you have to go to your neighbors and go, hey, I know this sounds weird, but I'm a voice actor. Could you not do that for 30 minutes? They're like, all right, whatever. I'm making friends with my neighbors.
I haven't done too much of my own recording. Like, for whatever reason, I just haven't had to do very much on the mic myself. But I'm recording all day long with sessions with other actors where I'm directing and they're recording from home. And it has been, it's such a dichotomy because it's extremely frustrating and trying and like mentally stressful and exhausting. Like at the end of the day, even if I haven't recorded that much, I'm just exhausted. But at the same time, it's so rewarding. And like, it feels like we took this thing that could have crippled us and we innovated and came together as a group and really figured out a way to keep everybody working and keep fans getting content and, keep working on this show that it stalled right at the end, and I was like, oh no, we've got this momentum going, we don't want to stop. And so coming together and figuring that out, watching the brilliant minds at Funimation figure out how to do it, and watching the higher ups at Funimation just blanket approve everything. It was just, yes, it's just opening up the doors and saying, yes, do it. Go. If you figured out a way, do it. Here's the money to go accomplish it. That it's been incredibly heartwarming. And I haven't ever been this proud to work for this company. I've always been proud to work for the company, but I've never felt this feeling of, you guys, look what these people did.
I know.
It's sweet.
I can't tell you everything they did, but it's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, stop it.
It is sweet because it is. I mean, because this is an unprecedented time, and it's what we're doing. Everybody recording from everywhere. That's just not the norm at all. And I really appreciate the patience of Funimation staff in walking us through it and holding our hands. It is forcing me to grow new skills. I mean, I record from home, but I record audiobooks and stuff. I don't think anything.
Yeah.
As long as it fits a 30-second commercial thing. I mean, I don't normally have to be that technical. And that has been a really positive, fun thing to be a part of and challenge for myself. I think we're all so freaking proud. And thankful they showed a lot of trust in us, frankly.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of trust. And I think everybody is really grateful.
And a lot of our engineers and mixers who are like taking all of these different recorded bits and making it sound cohesive and like it all comes together. Like these guys have really worked together and have created something that I don't think any of us thought was possible. Like
I didn't think at this quality level. Like I thought, for one thing, when they first said we were going to do it, Justin Cook is the progenitor of all this. Like they told him to try something, and he and Nathaniel, the head of our mix department, and Neil Malley, who's one of our mixers, who is the one who like found the software and figured it all out. They all came together and they came up with this plan, and then they brought it to all of us producers, and we were like, okay. Let's see how that works.
Was that over Zoom? Were you guys having like a Zoom call?
Yeah, like a Teams meeting, and none of us had the cameras on, but you could hear the silence, and you can hear then finally everybody kind of coming in and going, okay, So you're just gonna buy that many iPads and send them out to that many people? And sure enough.
It's necessity, the mother of invention, even in the 21st century. Absolutely. Dylan, thank you for that question. That was a really good one.
Thanks, Dylan.
Let's see what else we got. From, I won't say the name, but
Aren't we all?
Aren't we all?
What do you think the characters you voice would be doing during social isolation right now?
What a great question. That's the best question.
She can just make whatever she wants.
I know. I have everything.
Yeah, true.
Vaccine.
Hand sanitizer?
She would be creating the vaccine.
Well, wait a minute. We'd all be in the dorms. We'd all be stuck together.
They would cancel school.
Oh, that's true. They cancel school.
She would just be like straight up toilet paper just coming out.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. I'm making a hand over fist.
Yeah, I think Tsuyu would be out there trying to help people. I don't know how exactly in all of this, but I know she'd be out there trying to help people, whatever that means. And I'm going to say she's probably got her hair up in that cute little thing she does because, nobody has to see her.
Yeah.
I'm really all about that hair.
Yeah. Ochako is, if she's at home, I'm sure she's helping her family's business.
Yeah.
Floating big things. Or, helping people, like being like, hey, hands-free, whatever, as she floats all of this stuff to people's cars and
right.
pen paling with Deku.
I could use but Tsuyu could use her tongue because it's more than 6 feet to grab things for people.
But it's a tongue.
I'm not sanitary.
Thank you for being on that with me, Colleen.
I can grab it.
We're like, but it's a tongue. That's so hard. I lost my earbud. Oh, good. Okay.
Thank you, WT, for that question.
That's so funny.
What's next? Half and half. What's your guys' favorite villain?
Overall.
Oh.
Overhaul. Shigaraki.
Shigaraki's pretty good.
With all the hands?
He's horrible. Yes. He's so creepy with his itching, with his scratching.
Yeah. He has reasons though. Like he's got backstory.
Yes.
And he will eventually be my favorite.
I think my favorites are Toga and Dabi.
Oh, well, yes.
Toga, there's something going on there that we haven't quite figured out yet. And then Dabi, there's a lot going on there that as a former psychology student, I want to break that down and find out what's going on there.
Yeah. That's real.
I think I would like to say that Overhaul is my favorite villain as like a plot device, as like a moving the story forward. He created in my opinion, the most interesting arc. My favorite arc was the one where he was a villain, but in terms of like, I find that character very interesting and intriguing, probably Shigaraki.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hero Killer Stain was also interesting.
Yeah.
As a person who his motivation was they're not good enough. Like heroes should be real.
Heroic.
And
Nice. Half and half. Thank you for that question. That was a good one. All right. What do we got next? From Aaron. What's the best My Hero moment to the three of you?
I have 3.
You have 3.
What are yours?
Lay on it, yeah.
my first one, and like for a long time it was my favorite, was the Todoroki versus Deku like Silver Surfer moment with Todoroki finally using his flames for the first time.
Yes.
That gave me goosebumps every single time I watched it. The music in that moment, oh, so good.
Yeah.
And then the United States of Smash moment, because Chris, Sabat really killed that moment. And then the Katsuki and Deku moment, where Katsuki has his emotional kind of tear up, and Cliff nailed that one. Reiner nails everything, but
I know.
that sounded wrong. Reiner nails all his moments. He's a fantastic actor. But yeah, I think it's watching the characters shine in their individual like climactic moments. But those are the big three for me.
I think that's the thing, as the director, you get to see more of like everything that's happening. You get to see the entirety, you get to help piece it together. And I didn't realize the kind of perspective that gives you of the show until I helped Colleen with the film, the most recent movie.
Mm-hmm.
You really do. You get so attached to certain moments, because it's like, even though my character is not on screen, like this is such a cool moment and I'm getting to create this with you guys. So I think by far one of my favorites of all time, and I'm not going to spoil anything for those of you who haven't seen the new movie, but Bakugo's transformation, I'm going to try not to get like upset, but Bakugo's transformation through that film was like really, really a big deal for me, because I'd always made fun of Bakugo. Cliff is like my little brother and I like to pick on him and all this stuff. And I thought the character was very like kind of one note. Yeah, he's got moments, but overall he's just angry all the time. And then we worked on that and having conversations with Clifford about the character and where he wanted it to go and what it was like and how he felt. That was just such a huge, special thing for me. So that whole movie and that ending and everything will always be a big deal.
Yeah.
I loved, I'll say season 2 might have been my favorite season before, or I guess it just was. Season 2 was kind of my favorite. Because I like to see everybody using their quirks so much. And there was the sports fest and all of that stuff. And so many great things happened for so many people. But in the recent movie, I love it when everybody's fighting together.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the whole thing. It gives me chill bumps. My own character gave me chill bumps. And I just loved it. I loved it.
They get to be like pros for a bit.
Yes. And everybody, you know, when you really see them all working together, and there were some team ups that are not, that I hadn't seen before.
Yeah.
Of people working together. It was great.
I was really excited because Tsuyu was out there with the boys. It was like, you know, the guys you normally see, Todoroki and, you know, Ida and all these guys. And then there's little Tsuyu. And I'm like, yeah, go get him, girl. Go get him.
That's right. There was a lot of that. Like, there was a lot of that. I feel like there's a lot of, like, every character sort of got this wonderful moment.
Yeah.
I will never forget, not to spoil anything, but there's a moment with Tokoyami. And as Dark Shadow starts, like, doing his thing, the whole theater was like, ooh. And it was so exciting. And I was excited for him. You know what I mean? It was great. It was great.
There's nothing like watching those movies with a group of people.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
And this has been absolutely great. Ladies, we are just about at the end of our time for this portion of today's programming options. But thank you all for joining us. Real quick for our audience, do you have any upcoming projects that you may be allowed to share with us?
Oh. Look, oh.
Well,
Keep coughing.
Black Clover 124, if it's not out now, it will be out soon. And that was... it's a kind of a recap episode, but I recorded a lot of my narration from home, so I'm excited to see how that turned out. Gosh, there's stuff, but I don't know what we can talk about because everything's kind of in.
Yeah, I know.
I know. Yeah. I mean, yeah. We're moving forward on Nekopara. That is still coming out, which is exciting.
I don't know when it's going to happen, but Fruits Basket, I'm excited about Fruits Basket.
Oh gosh, yes.
Indeed. Well, ladies, thank you so much for joining us. What we're going to do is our producers are going to pull you back into the backstage area and go ahead and take a break. And we are going to thank everyone and move on. Ladies, it's always a pleasure to see you. Hopefully, we'll all be together again on stage in the future.
Thank you, Patty.
You all so much. Thank you,
Patty. You are a joy.
So are you. And everybody watching, please, you can see the social media links at the bottom right there. Please follow them. Keep in touch with what they're doing. They're always entertaining, always wonderful. Check it on out. Ladies, once again, thank you. It's always a pleasure.
Bye. Thank you, Patty.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you in a little bit.